Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. For someone, terrible neighbors is an everyday experience, but it's always unpleasant. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Entitled VP Gets Owned. I work for a vacation rental company who advertises through sites like Airbnb, Expedia, etc. My job is to do the bookkeeping primarily, but when colleagues are off, I do help with reservations, answering inquiries, and dealing with concerns. This was one of those days. OP is me, VP is entitled vice president, and M is my manager. I get to the office and start going through emails and come across one that's from VP who stayed with us this past weekend. He had a list of ridiculous complaints that could easily be resolved if we were made aware. I asked M about them, but she said this was the first she'd heard of these issues. She decided to call the booking website to see if they'd heard anything, and I'd contact the on-site staff. I didn't contact the staff right away as I had other professional obligations to attend. After about 10 minutes, as luck would have it, VP called our offices. OP, hello? VP, this is VP, and I'm really irate about the issues surrounding your property. I'm sorry to hear that. I did receive your email and read through it. Good. I'm expecting a full refund of $1,800 as you made my vacation with my family horrible. Do you know I'm a VP for a global firm? I didn't get to this position by being nice. I expect the best and no excuses. You guys need to get your act together. If you don't get me my refund, I'll have you fired. Do we understand each other? Loud and clear, sir. So again, I'm sorry for what you had to endure, but I have to ask, did you bring any of these issues to any of our on-site staff? Or call the phone number listed in the welcome binder? No, I shouldn't have to waste my vacation doing that. Okay, sir. I understand you want to get the most out of your vacation. Now, it says in your email that if we don't refund the full amount, you're going to leave us a bad review. Is that correct? Oh, I will, and watch your business go down the hill. Are you going to refund my money? I just have to ask you a few more questions so I understand everything. Now, it says here you were not happy about the homeless you saw and felt your wife and kids were in danger and felt threatened. It says here you believe they were all on drugs? My kids should not have to see that and have their lives in danger. Just a small interjection. We are a small city and there is a homeless problem, but having met many of them, they're either people down on their luck or they have mental health issues. Very few are on drugs. Despite the many properties we have all over the city, it's impossible not to see one. I agree. No one should be in danger. My refund? Oh yes, of course, about that. I see here you sent this from your work email. I love the logo you guys have in your signature. Your graphics team did a great job with the branding. You also have a link to the company website? This is irrelevant. You're wasting time. I'm a VP and my time is valuable. Put your manager on. Sure, not a problem. I'll get her here in 1 second. I'll just summarize what I have just to ensure I have everything. In a nutshell, your email basically has you committing extortion because you want money or it's a bad review. Then we have you being prejudiced and discriminating against the homeless by saying they're all on drugs, when that's not necessarily the case, when some might have mental issues, which is also a human rights violation. On top of that, you sent this email from your company email with the branding and name, and I'm assuming the board of directors, CEO, and the rest didn't approve this? How is... I start listing off names on the board and the CEO from the website, which he had in the email. Oh look, your company's publicly traded. VP goes silent. He realizes that if the board and CEO see that he used company property to commit extortion and discriminate, it'd be bad for the company and he'd be fired. Not to mention if this leaked, their stock could plummet. So how about this then? We keep the $1,800, you go tell everyone about all the good memories you made in our city, and we'll leave it at that. You go your separate way and we go ours, no bad review, just everyone living their lives. How's that sound? Fine. Good. And I'll just reiterate what you said earlier. I didn't get here by being nice. Have a great day, and I'm glad you and your family made it back safely. I ended the call and went to tell my boss, who was still on hold with the website provider, that he'll not be a further problem. Good job, OP. No one should enjoy their privileges just because they feel entitled to them. And our second story. Can you bring the cash over here instead of sending it? A week ago, my uncle was at our house helping out. He was out of commission because of the pandemic, so as usual, he comes over to do some carpentry work and expects us to pay him for it. We usually don't mind because it's a way to help him and his family, and his work usually lasts almost a lifetime. He's pretty damn skilled, so we pretty much just get a good deal out of it too. The only problem is his entitled kid, my cousin. She's very demanding. She calls her dad throughout the day every time he's working at her house. Then she'll ask him to pass the phone to my mom. She'd then advance the pay for the day. So it's like we pay her first before her dad started working. And usually she demands more than what his dad asked for us to pay him. Most of the time under the pretense that her dad didn't want the money and her little brothers are hungry, or she has a medical emergency, or that some repo men are taking their TV if they can't pay their debt or whatever. She always seems to need money badly. What we usually do is just send her the money. Usually my uncle will go home empty-handed because her daughter took all the money already. So my mom would pity him and give him a little extra. I really don't approve of this, especially since I am the source of income for our household, but she makes me count my blessings and have mercy on my poor uncle who worked hard. Mind you, we're not rich. I just happen to have a remote job so I can still provide for my family in times like this. Anyway, last week was a bit different. Cousin demanded she needed cash, but she's too busy to withdraw from the bank. She wants me to take money to her. By the way, they live a few miles from here and had to take 2 buses to get there. I don't have a car because I don't need it, and I haven't been far out since pandemic hit. Usually I just go out to nearby places like the gym or the grocery. I never left our city. When I told her I don't want to, she got angry and called me lazy. That all I do is stay home all day and that I'm a useless freeloader. WTF? Doesn't she know the money she's asking for was from me? Well, just because I'm several years younger than her and still live with my parents, she already assumed I'm just a freeloader like her. I pay for our house, our bills, our food. I even pay her dad. And she still has the nerve to call me lazy for not bringing her the payments for her dad's work? I passed the phone back to my mom, and she said that she can't force me to go out. My cousin started telling her she should have reprimanded me for being a couch potato. She told my mom to just kick me out of the house. My mom was about to tell her about my situation, but I told her not to. At least this way, she won't be bothering me directly because she knows I don't have money. Then I told her dad I don't have money anymore and I can't pay him or his daughter. I told him he can go home now, but he said it's okay, he'll still finish pouring the cement out the garden steps because he doesn't want to leave his work undone. He just told me to pay him whenever I got my money. But later he asked if I have pocket change because he won't be able to go home. He doesn't even have bus fare. Poor uncle. I can't stand him enslaving a day's work for pocket change, so I still give him his full day's pay, even if he only worked in the morning, but made him promise to never say a word to my cousin. Now it's been a week. My cousin keeps calling, asking, nay, demanding my mom pay out our debt. We just keep telling her we're broke too. She didn't know her dad had already been paid, and she kept threatening us that they won't see us ever again, and if we needed any help, they won't bother helping us anymore until we pay our debt. I think it works for us. Aside from constant phone calls, at least we don't have to send her money anymore. I just feel bad for my uncle and his other kids. Hope he can find a job soon. She's not your problem. Easily ignored. Seriously, you don't want to see her anyway. And our last story. The story in which such neighbors screwed up the life of our OP. Entitled neighbor thinks she has a right to our cabin/land when we're not up there. My family owns a few cabins up in Michigan that we rent out throughout the year. We have one that's our main one. It's on a lake, perched on a hill, so you can see it from far away. My siblings and I all have kids now and are in our 30s, so someone's usually up there from April through November, with maybe a few empty weekends here and there. Our neighbors at the bottom of the hill suck. They're a couple from out west who ripped down the 2 old cottages on the land they bought and built an ugly, modern-looking home that'd fit in a large city rather than on a lake. The bad thing about building such a large home is the lack of yard space, and they love to cry to us about how their kids have no backyard, and if we could sell some of our yard to them, it'd be great. Well, we love our yard. It's big enough that we had 2 weddings there, can have a full family reunion with 100+ people, and still have room to play cornhole or other yard games without being in the way. So every time this family has asked to purchase a part of it, we say no. We do have an old chicken wire fence between the properties, and we have grass, whereas they have just a forest floor around their home, so it's really easy to see where the 2 properties stop. So just last weekend, my dad got a call from one of our other neighbors, and they saw the bad neighbor up on the hill walking around our cabin with a few other people she didn't recognize. So my dad did what every homeowner would do and called the cops. He's drinking buddies with a few of them during the warmer months, so they were out to go check on the place really quick. Now, this part is all from the cop my dad's friends with. Turns out when they got there, the bad neighbor was walking around with her friends trying to set up a kids' outdoor winter park in the snow. The cops asked if she had permission, and she lied to their faces, saying she was in the process of closing on the land and that she's ripping the cabin down to turn it into a small snow park for the area. Well, the cops told her that she was trespassing, that they were called here by the owner, who they were friends with. I guess bad neighbor got really quiet and started to try to walk away, but was ticketed along with her friends for trespassing. I guess they also laid into the ladies that if a kid got hurt while they were out here illegally, they'd be liable for anything, and he said he's recommending my family put up a restraining order in case she's caught up there again. This isn't the first time she's been on our property without permission. We've caught her out on our dock smoking, and she's picked a few of our veggies from the summer garden, both of which are on the other side of the hill from her. We're going up there once it gets warm enough to install more cameras, as right now we only have ones above the doors and garages. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.